right, so we are live. I don't know if it's broadcasting though.
See.
Yeah, all right. What is happening, everybody? Let me just change up the description. All right, and
Oh,
we are live.
how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. It is Tuesday, and I cannot complain. Feeling good. A new month. Hail Caesar, Caesar's month. We didn't do the togas. Darn it. We got time. We got time. The thing is, you don't want to just do a sheet, right? You want to do it the right way, and that was the issue. Is you're trying to.
I don't know how to tie a toga, so there's like a lot of research that needs to be done as well.
Yeah, the costume department is not as prepared as it should be, but it's a work in progress. But
This is true.
let's see, let's put a link. Bada bing.
Funny, if you don't tell people on Instagram, nobody comes on over.
Well, people come on, but it times out well by the time people get the little YouTube notifications. From the time I put this thing on Instagram, like I just did, people find their way on the show. But let's get it started either ways. It is a beautiful Tuesday, the first day in July, and we are back with Watch Talk Live. I'm CQ the Watch Guy with my good friend, retired Watch Guy Jay. How's it going? July 1st, we made it.
July, the first of the month is always so polarizing because it's so new and you feel like there's so much that you can accomplish because it's new, but then you have to pay rent and everything kind of just hits you like a pound of bricks or a ton. A pound of bricks isn't much. A ton of bricks is a lot more like it.
A ton of bricks would not be fun. That would not be fun at all. Well, we're here to alleviate, entertain, and educate with all our friends in the watch industry. Ooh, what was that sound? Yeah, so today, oh, excuse me. If you need any independent watch advice, make sure you head over to cqthewatchguy.com where you can see all my services and gets the watch advice that you need. All right, today we are continuing with day 2 of military watches. We're going to spend about 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, speaking about some military watches. Today we are talking about the Dirty Dozen, and then we got a ton of
What's the
some.
Dirty Dozen? I'm not as familiar with. I've heard of the phrase, and I think there's a movie, but is it like 12 guys that did something in the war? Like, what's? Is it a movie? Is it just a movie?
So the movie's about 12 military guys, doing World War II, doing crazy things. I haven't watched it before, so I don't know the exact plot. I don't know if they're from different countries or whatever. I think it's all US GIs. Now, when we're talking about watches, the Dirty Dozen is talking about 12 manufacturers that were contracted by the British government and military to make watches for them on the later end of World War II. So they had specs. Everything needed to be blacked out, Arabic numerals. They needed to be accurate. So they needed to have chronometer specs for the time. And the Dirty Dozen speaks about, in the watch sense, in the 12 brands that answered the call.
What's going on, Daraj?
Hey,
Interesting.
what's up, Diraj? This is a producer Diraj picked the subject for the week. So we have IWC, Longines, JJ Lecoute, Omega, Grana, Saima, Eterna, Lomania, Buren, Timor, Vertex, and Record. And of course, because they're all kind of made to the same spec, they all have very, very similar stylings. Of the brands we see here,
The
you might,
hats seem to be the biggest differentiator. Like the hats
yeah,
all have their own. Everything else is very similar. I guess some have train tracks, some have more prominent train tracks, but the hats seem to be the biggest indicator of which brand made them.
I agree. Sorry, I'm playing around with the zoom here. I don't want you to. Can I get like halfway zoom? But
What's going on? How you doing today, Pack?
what's happening, Pac Judge? Ooh, Gerard, you got a little crown on number one like that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, you got some XP. All right, I like that. I think. Oh, we got top fans. I think we've been upgraded. Love that.
That's pretty cool.
Love that. I did make Duraj a moderator last night, I think, so he should have a wrench, but I'm sure he'll pop in to yell
Uh-oh.
at
Don't
me.
let Vamal hear that.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll pop in. Oh, look, Pack Eldridge is number 2. Look at that. We're upgrading. I feel like we're evolving.
I can see Durant, but I can't see Pac Eldridge's thing though. What's going on, Julius? How you doing, man? Well, I
Hail
can't see Durant
Caesar.
anymore. Damn, that's
It's
crazy.
or maybe I can just see it.
No, I saw
Caesar.
the ones. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, Caesar.
Come on, man. It's his month. We're trying to give him like a thing. Caesar, we will have at least one toga day. Somehow we'll make it happen. I wanted it to be the first, but like the Reese and everything, the costume department is working on it. But we will have one day to truly celebrate this month in your honor because he did some great things, man. Before it went all to hell, what a ride. Let's say that. What a ride.
What went to hell? Because Rome didn't go to hell.
Well.
And neither did Julius. Julius was a good man. Julius went to heaven. And I won't hear it otherwise.
This is true. This is
He's
true.
hanging up there with Jupiter. Right?
Well,
Jupiter was Zeus for them. Right.
I guess for the Republic, for the Empire to be born, Caesar had to go down. So sacrifices had to be made, and that it is what it is. And there are a lot of lessons that we still learn from today. So we thank Caesar for his sacrifices. Oh man.
It's like we thank the Dirty Dozen for their sacrifices in World War II.
Exactly. So like you were saying, the biggest differentiator you can see off the bat is going to be the hands with Longines. Let's just do the. Oh, come on. Let me zoom in. Houdinki doesn't like me. There you go. With Longines and IWC giving that little bit of a flower petal situation. And then IWC giving you the straight kind of syringe style. But then everybody else kind of goes for the baton. Or a little bit of sword action here. A little bit of broadsword, not so broadsword. But it's amazing how many of these brands have managed to stick around one way or another. Great ones like Lamania have been bought and resold Turner as well. I think Buren's still kicking around. But the top 4 here are the ones that are still humming along. IWC and JLC, part of the Richmond family. Longines and Omega are part of the Swatch Group family now. And I believe, if I'm correct, the Grana pieces are the most rare in production. They're a very small company at the time. Would you buy any of these watches?
I mean, like I guess it's a vague question. Just because it's like these all just look like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not that much character to them. I'm not a big vintage fan, so it's just like I can see how somebody who's a real fan of vintage might fawn over these, but for me, like, it's just kind of plain. So not really.
I think if I could find one in decent condition for not a
How large
crazy
are they?
price.
They're probably in the smaller size, right? Like 37, 36. I don't think that they're 40s. Yeah, look, the sizes were there on the chart, I think.
Was it on the chart?
Yeah, I would double check the chart.
Yeah, so the Buren's 36.5, Simon's 37. Everything's between
Yeah.
35 and 36. The Longines being 38 millimeter. So that would probably be the one that I would go for.
But yeah, like they're just smaller, which doesn't hurt me. Like, I don't mind a smaller watch. It's just it's better than the trench watches. Like, better than the trench watches were. But then again, it's just like at least the trench watches had some character. These are just
Well, remember, these were all made for a certain spec, right? It was like, hey, we need them to. So, like, you really couldn't wiggle too much. And it was wartime as well, so I don't think. I think if it wasn't wartime and these were just normal, like, officers' watches made in, like, in the 50s or something like that, brands would have their own little. They're fun with the aesthetics and style. But being that it's wartime, it's literally like black dial, Arabic numerals. Put the arrow
it
there,
makes sense. Why get complicated? And Daraj says he'd want one that had documented field time, and I guess that's something I would take into account. Like, if I knew for sure it had made it. Oh, Vimal's got the wrench.
Hey, Vermont, I gave you a wrench, brother. Just because you asked, I found a way to make it happen.
Wait,
Now
hold on,
everybody
hold on.
has crowns and
I got a
re-
question.
Oh,
Did
is it Happy
Canada
Canada Day?
really try to steal July from America?
No
What is,
way. It,
how does Canada get a Independence Day before us?
oh wait.
Lamar, you must tell us more about this.
Is today Canada Day? Nobody told us.
Google would have done something. There's no way. Google would have had like
Yeah.
a nice maple leaf and Justin
Oh, it
Trudeau.
is Canada Day. Oh no. Ah, jeez. What do we do? What can I play on YouTube for Canada Day?
Um, maybe damn, that's a great one. I don't know, dude. You could always play Blame Canada from South Park. That was a
No,
good
but
song.
then no.
Blame Cat. Let me stop. The mall's gonna.
You see. Hey, happy Canada Day to all our Canadian friends. I love Canadians. I love my friends in Toronto, Vancouver.
Best hits of Wayne Gretzky, yeah. Oh yes, you can just throw some hockey up here, brother.
All
You know, get some hockey going, yeah. To boot.
right, we're ending with Wayne Gretzky highlights in honor of Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to all our Canadian friends, even my French Canadian friends. You're a little stern, but you're always nice to me.
I
So
don't know,
I
man. I
like
don't
you.
know if I'm ready to wish the French Canadians anything yet.
You gotta.
I'm sorry, man. I've had some fucking run-ins with the French Canadians, dude. They are a different breed. They are a different breed.
Hey, they're stern. Let's say that they're stern, and
There's
there's some of the.
more of these in the wild than I thought there would be. I'm surprised that they're out
Well,
there.
they actually made a ton of watches. I was surprised. Let's quickly go back to that article. In terms of production numbers, depending the brand, Omega 25,000, Record Watches 25,000, Vertex 15,000, Timor 13,000. You start to go slimmer with like JLC at 6,000. But there are a lot of watches out there if you're somebody who's very interested in military history. Like D-Rod said, it would be the grail would be to like find one with documented military time or from a family member who has a story of grandpa being in service wearing this watch or something like that. I think would be great. But if you just wanted a real piece of history that you don't have to break the bank for and you don't have to dig into some of like the brands you don't know about, something like this Omega that's been cleaned up, I think would be a really great addition to any collection. Are there any Canadian limited editions? I don't know. Canadian. I'll just see what happens when you type in Canadian.
Didn't we find the one Canadian watch for Breitling? Like, didn't they make a specific Breitling for like the armed forces in Canada? It probably makes
Oh, I'm
some
sure.
sense.
Oh, look at this. A 1962 single button chrono for the Canadian military. Happy Canada Day. We put a watch up there for you. Now I just need some good poutine, eh? This is actually, I like this watch.
What's Canada's military known for? Like, you know how England was known for their navy, and we were known for just being bullies. What is Canada's military? Like,
I,
what's
I
their
think
strength?
I think they're most known for like helping us in tough situations. If I'm correct, I don't know. We have military scholars in the chat who can give a better estimation, but I don't think they've had any big military excursions in modern day history. But they were a part of
So similar to the French
the
in our
alliance during the
past,
Middle East,
like
the
the
Middle East
French
war.
coming to help us during our revolution, Canadians coming to kind of assist us in the debacles that we
Hey,
may have run
there are
into.
neighbors, man. There are friendly neighbors to the north. You know. All right, so that is our military talk for today. We will have more military talk going forward, but we got a lot of new watch news. So let's see if we can sell J.O. Watch. Our favorite show, your favorite show, is back in full effect. Let me put my phone on vibrate like a good host before we start talking about, yeah.
What is this?
This is,
It's a tutor.
I believe it's Sir David Beckham.
I know who that is. I'm asking about the watch. That's a tutor.
That
Is that a tutor prince or something like that?
No, this is a Tudor Black Bay Chrono. I hope is a piece unique with actually like a really nice flat black glossy dial, diamond diamond marker hour
It
markers.
has to be white gold. It has to be white gold.
I'd hope so. double row diamond, double row brilliant set bezel. We got diamonds going down the bracelet on the lugs. This is what we call a bust down Tudor.
Why why Tudor? Like what's Beckham's connection to Tudor? Like does he is it MLS or something? Like is there because MLS has a
No, well,
connection?
he's been a Tudor ambassador for quite a while now, and I think oh, producer Rimal Tudor piece unique for Beckham's 50th birthday.
Interesting. Um Wait, Vimal also said JTF2 is the most elite special forces from Canada. So classified, even the Prime Minister isn't fully aware of their operations. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
There you go.
I mean, like,
I just if
it's
it's white gold, it works for me. If it's white gold, it's a unique piece. 50th birthday. He's probably sold so much black base for them. Like I understand it. I understand. If it's white gold, you have no qualms from me. Yeah, he could pull it off, right? Like he's of the elk.
I mean, yeah, it's like from my perspective, it's just like why Tudor? But I mean, I guess since he has strong ties as a piece unique, you know, does it change? Does it do anything for Tudor? No, in my opinion, like because it's a piece unique.
Well, I think a couple crazy guys will ask for this watch. So Vimal says, I believe it has to be gold to hold the diamond. Steel is too hard to drill.
I don't
Technically,
know.
technically, steel can be drilled. They can find a way. There are many bust downs out there in steel cases. Most brands do the right thing and put it in gold. So we're hoping this is a gold piece. But
I'm sure for Beckham they made it out of
yeah,
gold.
exactly. I'd have done platinum for him. Why not? And here we have a new Richard Mille RM3001 Le Mans.
Something's going on with green. They can't fucking get away from green. Like the LeBron watch had the green. This watch has the green. Is it like the what's going on?
Well, it's more of a deep forest green than the LeBron. LeBron had a lot of high colors there.
I mean, there's some high colors here too. The hands are high colored green. It's a green and orange, some kind of fucking UM. Like, did they go to the University of Miami or something? What's going on?
So this is the other Le Mans piece. I think this particular one is my favorite one. That white ceramic or TPT.
That's actually pretty cool. It looks too complicated, but it's cool. Green is the new blue. You're probably right. You're probably right, Jamal.
Yeah,
Von Cruel said, "Hey yo, got my swanky new G-Shock, but it came with a little piece of schmutz under the damn crystal. Annoying to fix. I couldn't accept the schmutz." Oh, dude, it's so funny how the little things on a crystal can just throw you off. Um,
yeah. The schmutz when it's there, once you realize it's there, it's such a headache,
and
and you want to get
I
it
don't
off.
have Von Cruel money either. I mean, I don't have Richard Mille money either, Von Cruel. So I feel you. It's nice to look at though. Mm. Look, I hate that you put up the Where's Richard Mille pieces, knowing that I have
I
them
just
all.
put up what they released, brother. I just put up what they released. I'm trying to figure out the price. And just
It's fucking 300 plus easily, even
use
though it's not TPT.
that's what I'm saying. It's titanium, so they can
It'll usually be cheaper, what, 250? Like these don't they all start at 200? Like they don't have any Richard Milles in the hundred something. Maybe after they get to the pre-owned market and people are like, oh, I don't like it. But retail, this got to be like two something.
yeah, I think which the watch pages have it at 275,
What's going on, Johnny? O, how you doing, man?
and then
275? That's not a lot.
220 Swiss francs from timeandwatches.com, who I've never heard of. And I think the battery on my mouse just went, so we gotta switch things up.
So if you want a UM piece that's, catering to the Le Mans, this is the one for you.
This is no.
Sadly. Actually, I'm starting to think that I don't even like Richard Mille. I'm starting to not like a lot of things. Jesus.
CQ, when did RM become popular? Was it F1 or NBA? I would definitely have to say it would be between F1 and tennis
I'm gonna
with
say tennis.
With
Yeah.
Nadal. Because the Bubba Watson was the first one that I heard of, right? That was I held in my hands. I was like, oh, this is cool. So that's golf. NBA NBA got into it after it was already like a rich man's watch, right? I think the hype happened through F1, through tennis with Nadal, through that fan base because those are very like the net worth of those fan base are a little bit more up there, especially when you talk about F1. So the Philippe Massas did well and all these different things. So I think F1 did it, and then it just leaked in to the zeitgeist of the world and all the other brands. But F1, tennis, golf, and now coming into NBA after it's just almost on the downturn of the brand. I'd feel like not the downturn, but the cooling of the brand a little bit. So definitely F1 came first, but it's a combination of things. This is just the highest in watch fashion you could get if that's a thing. I don't know. All right, let's see what else is new. We got another new tutor. I know, right? So this is Tudor Pelagos FXD Chrono Yellow. So this is gonna be
What's the
forged
FXD
carbon.
stand for?
The lugs are fixed. I
Hmm.
think that's what it stands for. So like I don't know how to explain it, but there's a bar that goes across the lugs that you can't change. You see? There's no spring bar. It's just
Oh,
a
so that's
solid
why they got to use
piece.
a NATO strap.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's another bunch of reasons, but that when I think FXD, that's immediately what I think of.
Is there like is it like more secure or something like that?
Yeah.
All right.
How many times have us, spring bars fail?
Okay. I mean, look. Okay. I think I don't like that mainly because this would probably look really cool on a black alligator or something like that, and I'm relegated to just NATO straps. I hate NATO. Like there's nothing worse than a NATO strap, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but I just hate them. It's not a place for. Or it's just, I mean, I get why certain watches have them just because of easy being able to loosen them, like certain Omegas and stuff like that. But like, it just detracts from luxury watches, in my opinion. The mall asks panel, everyone is talking about FP Journe price moving up in the secondary. I can't see some dealers pointing to recent auctions. You think market is being manipulated by a few collectors? Yes, the market's always being manipulated at all times, everywhere, everything, all at once, just like stocks. Um,
Yeah. I
but I
mean,
think, wouldn't you say, CQ, that it's less manipulation than others? Like you can blatantly see when they're bidding certain things up, whereas FP Journe does have a good pool of buyers, a good pool of people who do think that the watches are gaining value.
yeah, I think right now the situation is there's just not enough inventory out there. The inventory that comes out there is higher price, but there's none of them out there. When you look at the auction results, very, very strong auction results, especially the New York auctions were super duper strong. But again, a T30 went for close to 900,000. Find me another T30. I can find you another T30. I can't find you somebody who wants to sell their T30, and that's the issue. There's a lot of people who are in the Journe market right now who have Journe pieces in their collection who've just seen the value just explode, and a lot of these people aren't people who need to liquidate their pieces. So a lot of watches are just in collections that are never coming out. So you could say it's a little bit of manipulation, but I definitely I think it's less coordinated than people think. I think there's just a lot of people who have the watches don't need to sell them. And dealers, rightfully so, if you have them, you're asking high price. I'm chasing line sport pieces right now, and I can't find them. Line sport, line sport used to be something I could take a shovel and scoop up all the line sport watches, and now look, I'm going on Chrono 24, and you see basic pieces. You see a Simon Dial here or there. You see something unique here or there, but most everything is just normal pieces that you can get. Nothing super duper special. I'm actually hunting one of these center grass.
Well, line sports being bid up is definitely manipulation because that is the one watch that I just do not understand. Like,
But I mean, even look
it's
at
just it's
Elegantes.
it's scarcity. Well, elegante. What do you mean by that? Because elegante is you're saying the availability of them. You're saying like
Well,
there was a
well, I know that if you have a black label Tadalite Elegante, you can get in the 80s for it. Like dealer, I've seen a dealer pay in the 80s for it. So you're
I'm
just
not
seeing
gonna surprise
things.
you. Like we've seen the rise on Elegantes, and they are the sporty, like they're the sporty watch that you want from FP Journe. Line Sport should be it, but nobody really cares about them like they do the Elegante.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It, but yeah, I don't want to say market manipulation. We're not in that stage. We're just in the stage of people are holding on to the good stuff. Because if
I
I had,
mean, wouldn't you say that there's always an element of market manipulation, but Zorn, it's hard to really say that due to the fact that people are buying and holding. Like they truly are buying and holding because they are believers in the brand, you know?
exactly. I think there was a time when you could say there was a little bit of coordination. Even that I don't want to agree with because it wasn't what people thought it was. But there's nobody holding that amount of inventory that was once held by certain people. That is not happening, and those people don't have anything compared to what they once had. So the market is in its free thing right now. I don't the amount of capital that it take to really corner the jour market. It's a lot of money, and not many people can swing it. And I don't. There's some juice there, but it's really like the pieces that are gonna go crazy are gonna be super rare pieces that are only popping up in auctions anyways. I just don't. I don't know. I think people are smart and they're just not selling if they don't need to sell. I wouldn't sell her Jordan if I didn't have to sell right now. I would hold. Panel of the 1,000 pieces FP Jordan produces, is it all going to 1,000 individuals or are some collecting getting 3 to 4 pieces? For sure, some collectors are getting 3 to 4 pieces. There is no need for them to service the market in a democratic way. This is a much different business than a Rolex or Patek, right? They literally make 1,000 watches, if that, a year. I think that's like on the high side. Maybe they hope to keep producing 1,000 watches, but once you start putting in some of the complicated things that he puts in, it becomes hard. So for sure, there are a few collectors who are getting 3 to 4 pieces, maybe one for a teeth, one super complicated piece. I think they try to serve as many people as possible, and that's why you see a lot of people get CSs and Elegantes and things like that. But there is nothing that really benefits them from making sure each piece goes to an individual. Why? For them, they don't have to. They don't have a bunch of boutiques that they need to support. They have no authorized dealers they need to make happy. They just need to make the people who helped support the brand in the beginning happy. And that's really their only true loyalty. Beyond that, you know, jump in, join the fun. But I know a lot of people who've waited a very long time for very basic pieces, and I don't think, what can you do, Jay, to compel them to make them sell you a piece? I don't think it exists.
Why would you sell your FP Journe if you just see the prices are rising?
Exactly. I know somebody I sold a T30 to under 100,000. I could probably easily offer him right now 650, maybe 700,000 cash for it. No reason for him to take that offer, and there's really no reason for me to like push him to do that because honestly, you're in so much in the green. It's worth taking a risk to see if you can get over a mil for it one day, right? What's the rush? You're already well past. You're well into the profit. Yeah. So one of those situations. I don't think it's market manipulation. I think this is a safe brand for big money. RM isn't safe. Paddock isn't safe. AP isn't safe. If you have big dollars to put into a watch or two, you put it into Jorns, and there's nothing saying they're going to drop right now. That's for sure. All right, let's see if there's a couple more watches for us to talk about before.
Amal said that the Elegante is candy you get at the dentist for the root canal you didn't need. The Rod says FP Jorn, he just likes the Havana on Rose look.
Which is the best, to be honest with you. All you need is a Havana. A Havana will take you all the way you want to go. Unless you want to spend the big bucks, then you gotta. Then we could talk. You could do a few
With
things.
Vimal on the chronometric blue, that is something that I would definitely go and grab.
Especially the 38 millimeter, like he's talking about, like Rare Bird, and yeah, a truly perfect watch.
You keep on talking about these goddamn shakings, man.
Oh, he can send links now. So let's put the G Shock. Let's see what G Shock, Mr. Vimal, producer Vimal, excuse me. Oh, I heard about this Crocs and G Shock collaboration. Whether on your wrist or integrated into your footwear, the timepiece is designed to move you boldly on your terms. Let's see if I can play this without break. Oh my gosh. Let's just go to YouTube. All right, let's let that ad play. Come on. All right, so Crocs. Oh, the Crocs XG Shock Crocs Echo Wave. It's integrated into the shoe.
Dude, the comet is coming, bro. The fucking comet is coming, dude, and it's all Croc's fault. Because what
It,
is this?
it's in the shoe. Wait. Okay, first let's talk of the watch. Not a bad watch. Beautiful looking G Shock. I don't mind the colors at all. Hey, this is peak. This is peak watches. Vimal says it has quick release straps and you can attach it to the Crocs. Michael A says, should the watch be on the inside of the foot so when you cross your feet, you can read the time? Interesting question.
I assumed that's what it was. I assumed that it was on the inside. I
Wow,
innovative.
I wanted to love this though. I actually think the watch looks cool, and I think Crocs is doing some interesting stuff, and they're trying to go a little luxe. I blame Jacob and Co for this.
Dude, the nurses are gonna kill this shit, dude. Oh my God. Every nurse is gonna
No,
be out
come on, no
here with
nurse is
the
gonna want the schmutz, the nurse schmutz, and then when you're a nurse, you gotta put the booties on,
what
so
do you,
you're covered up with your booties.
what do you mean? They're gonna rock the
The,
shoes with the G-Shock. I'm confused.
I think people rock the shoes. I think people rock the watch, but I think if I see you rocking the shoes in the watch, I pull you to the side so we can have a conversation.
Well, I'm not saying that they're gonna have the watch on the shoe while they're working, but they would have like the matching watch to the shoe in their
Oh yeah, for
scrubs.
sure, for
That's what,
sure.
because it's like a little colorful. It's like a little different. I'm sorry, but like the fact that you could put the watch in a shoe makes no fucking sense. It
Well,
also makes you look like you're wearing some kind of home arrest, a house arrest fucking tracker. Just the no, it's a no for me, dog.
see, the thing is, watch jewelry and like watches being worn on necklaces and anklets and stuff like that. It's been making a little bit of a buzz, but this, I think, just unless you
Yes,
have on
Michael
the
A said
inside.
it best. House arrest. It looks like you are on. They're also jail slippers, so it's just like house arrest.
Oh wow. Oh, that's not a good look. Cause these are for sure, like,
But that's what I just
this,
said.
these are going, these are going crazy in the corrections facilities.
That's all I'm gonna say, bro. These shits look like you broke out of prison. Ramal said, I wouldn't go to the airport with a digital clock attached to my footwear. And it's like, it's one thing when you have a clock on a necklace because you could make it be like, oh, excuse me, I'm looking at my clock. You know, it's like, it's better than a pocket watch because it's not in your pocket. You can pick it up and it's a conversation. That just looks fucking stupid. Who's telling the time by looking at their leg? Like, it's just not practical. It's literally the opposite of practicality.
So is it a miss or not? I don't know because like D-Rod says, clever branding, offbeat but not stupid. Because it is like if you tell me that it pops off, then it is actually fine. I don't care. But if you're
You
telling me that that little watch holder block part is permanently a part of your wearing situation, then then like
But
Michael
where
always
would it
says, it's a
go?
wife beater shoe.
Where would it go? You
Well, if
think that you're
you pop it off.
no, it's there because that's the case that holds the watch. I don't think you pop that off. I think that's a permanent part of the shoe.
See, nobody else is even talking about it.
Because it's stupid. It's not practical. It's not a, I mean, like branding wise, I do agree, Daraj. I do agree that like ingenious to like collab with a watch company and Crocs is hot and even the color and design looks great. But when you tell me you're putting the watch in the shoe, you've lost me. Like it doesn't make sense at all. And then you're using that as a feature. Like you're literally trying to say that that's something cool about it. Like
They don't got
patented
my
design
size.
on the shoes, unique. But shut the fuck up with that. $200?
I think you get it with the watch.
Well, duh. I don't give a fuck. It's still $200 for some Crocs and a G
With
Shock.
with the G Shock.
I just want some non-slip shoes, bro. It's beatdown time. Look, bro.
I do think this is clever branding.
Clever branding, not practical. That's all I'll say. Definitely good branding. Looks nice, all that stuff. But when people start wearing it and using it for what they say it's used for, nobody's gonna ever put it on their shoe. Like this is stupid.
I mean, you got to do one UV shot though.
Like I don't. Why is it even glow in the dark? Because the loom on the watch. Like, oh God.
Because if you need your jail slippers to light up.
This is superluminova at least, and not tritium. You know, God forbid your shoes got gas.
Oh man, that
Whole
was
milk
rough.
says awful, and I agree.
Oh man, look at Meister Singer with some integrated sports watch.
Yo, Ramal hit a very great point. You wear that watch on your shoe in New York City, and then you think you're gonna put that shit back on your wrist? Insane, insanity.
No,
You
I
take a
mean,
subway ride with that shit on your.
first of all, you take this on the subway, somebody takes it off you. Not because the subway is like an unsafe place. You just attracting curiosity with this thing on your foot. And like I could just see somebody just like,
I think you're actually giving it too much praise to think that anybody in New York gives a fuck about your
well, I'm
Crocs.
not some crazy guy just like, what the fuck is that? You know? I don't know.
If you say so. Whole Milk thinks that excrements can help the look of the shoe and watch. So there's that.
It'd be interesting to see a subway weathered version. That's for sure. Meister Singer, watch that I don't see talked about that much. Here we have their Kanos line, which I think is expanded. So Meister Singer is interesting because their watches only have one hand. So all the time is told with one hand and now a date in the middle. Do any of these watches appeal to you, sir? Very IWC.
Are they under 2 grand?
Oh, you know that's not true.
Mm, I'm fucking out. You giving me a watch with one hand and you charging me over 2 grand? I'm out. And I know, it's like, well, the movement, they had to work the movement R&D in order for it to be precise and tell you the hour and a minute with one hand. And then the date wheel, well, the date wheel, I don't care.
2950.
Yep,
for
nine
the
hundred and
date
fifty
model.
dollars too
Oh,
much.
euro.
Oh God.
But then there's this model with the date and the other one with the date in the circle. I think it's an interesting watch. They were cool when it first came out.
I'm also not a huge fan of like the like them doing two digits for everything. Maybe I'm just, I guess they're trying to make the dial uniform with the 12, 11, 10. It just kind of,
Very much stopwatch vibes. All right, so that's a no. Sorry, my mouse is.
but moderately priced. To be honest with you, 29.50 isn't that bad. And like if you're getting a discount, if you can get the watch at around 22.50 plus tax, it really isn't terrible if you like that type of watch.
Ooh, Vimal says the 1908 Setimo is hitting ADs now. I did see one on Moda going for a auction. Let's see if there's any on Cronin 24 yet. So this is the 1908 yellow gold on the bracelet. Let's just see what 1908 is.
Michael A did say that the Brigade subscription for 58K does the same thing. I'm guessing one hand telling
Yeah.
you everything. All right, well, Brigade gets the right, given they've been doing this shit for like hundreds of years. I don't know how long Maestro, or whatever they're called, has been doing it for.
All right, so none on Chrono. Let me see if I could pull up any listings.
I still don't get why they changed out the Cellini
I don't know. There's something there. There's something I think with the legalities or
of
something.
Cellini, like of the name. Because
I
with
mean,
Cellini's a jewelry store too, right?
yeah, there's Cellini Jewelers in New York.
But that has nothing to do with why Rolex had the Cellini, right?
No, I just think
Okay,
it's a family name.
gotcha.
So not seeing any online beyond that one that was on Moda, and that's an auction. But I just wanted to show the people this gorgeous watch. You do it in a silver dial and a black dial. How would it take either? Just gorgeous watches.
It's funny because it almost doesn't look like a Rolex. It's actually one of the most un-Rolex looking Rolexes to me.
Yeah. I think that's why it'll do so good. I think they should produce tons of these. I know they won't, but I think it's such a easy category for them to nip after because the price point for this compared to some of the more higher end handmade brands this becomes a great value.
Do they do this in steel or with the
No,
bracelet? No.
no,
Okay.
no, they won't be able to charge you enough if it was in steel. 35,000 at the time of this posting,
So
which I
would you
think
call this
incorrect.
their dress watch to a certain
Yeah,
extent?
for sure, because you could get it on the leather shop as well. But this is a nice gentleman's piece.
And that's not a Jubilee bracelet, right? Is that the Septima bracelet? Is that what they're calling that? What do they call the bracelet?
Yeah, I think it's Settimo.
Septim.
Settimo.
I'm sorry, Septimo. There we go.
Settimo.
I mean, look, better than Jubilee. I fucking hate Jubilee. This is actually a better like weaving, in my opinion, than the Jubilee. Is it flat or is it
Yeah, yeah, it's more flat.
okay? So it's similar to the Oyster Course bracelet, like the situations we were talking about with what was the watch? It wasn't a 1908 that we were looking at, right?
That was a
Land,
land dweller.
yes, land dweller. Okay.
So now we have to do the comparison because he said it. Is this a Calatrava killer?
So
Right.
the thing
This
is, wouldn't you say that Calatrava, like at least they have an open case back, whereas like this isn't gonna have an
no,
open case. No?
this does have an open case back.
Oh wow.
Yeah, these
I
have
did
open
not
case backs
realize
now.
that. Okay, that does change things a bit.
Wait, let me just clean my tabs up here.
Michael A said he would prefer a Calatrava for that money. And I think the main reason you say that, Michael, is because we've been paying that money for Calatravas and we haven't had a watch like this from Rolex in some time. So it'll be interesting what we think in a year or two from now while this settles in because Attic has kind of had free range on this market with no, like, yes, the Longas and the Vacherons, they do try to compete, but have they made a watch of comparable status? And I don't think they have. Whereas this, I don't know if I can say I would buy a Calatrava over this
So
personally.
I'm pulling up the Calatravas now.
Whole Milk said, oh, sorry, Pack Elder says, one of my Grail time pieces. And then Whole Milk said, gotta go Chapard over the 1908, unless you're a bracelet guy. Which Chapard are you speaking of, Whole Milk?
He's thinking about a nice LUC Chopard for sure, and then it really really makes it tough if you take it away from the bracelet conversation.
Oh, oh, okay, you're back. Sorry.
You can hear me?
I can hear you now. You're back.
Sorry. If you take it away from the bracelet conversation, it just turns it into a whole different beast for sure.
So, but then we gotta go back. Then it comes to the conversation because once you bring up Chopard, right? Then it's just like, just know you're going to die with that watch, and that's fine. If you don't mind dying with that watch and giving it to your son, it's fine. But I'm gonna take a 1908 just because I know that eventually, if I do want to trade it, somebody's not gonna bend me over and not at least treat me to dinner.
No, no dinner for you, sir. It's definitely for the Rolex fanboys, where I think it's a beautiful watch. So let's just knock them down real quick. Would you take a 5227 G or J over 1908? I think
You said which one? The 5227
let,
G?
let, let's let's just go top row. So the two on the right, the 5227 G or the 5227 J.
But it goes back to bracelet. Because if you're 100% right that if you don't care about the bracelet, then you're going Calatrava. You know what I'm saying? Just because it just seems a lot more classical. There's a lot less going on. But if you want a nice dress watch with a bracelet, that 1908 is killing it. And Whole Milk says Rolex dress watches historically don't trade well,
This is
but
true.
history doesn't repeat. It often rhymes, and you never know. This might be a different time. But the Cellini was not a great seller, and that's why it's gone. I think that this was a good replacement given the bracelet. I don't know, man. I do see what you're saying, CQ. Whereas the Calatrava, I'm not a big fan of the 6119, but the 5227 is like when you put those against the 1908, it's a hard choice for me personally. I don't like the knurled bezel on the 6190, 6119. Is it knurled? Whatever that's called.
Hobnail, yeah.
Hobnail. There you go.
Yeah, it puts up a good fight. It puts up a good fight, but you take the bracelet off and it becomes it waffles a little bit. But in terms of like availability, would you? It becomes such a deeper conversation. Do I care about getting my money back? Do I care about having to wait for the watch? All these things kind of go into it. But if I'm already a good profile collector of Rolex and Patek, then it is a very hard choice. If like I only wanted to spend around that price point, which way do I go? I probably go 1908. But I love the 6119s. It's a harder conversation than you think.
It's funny though, like I just don't see it in the 6119s, but I guess that's because it's more of a classical watch, and I'm not a fan of that style. I
Well,
just
well
don't.
I, I've just seen the 6119 in pictures and on so many different straps that I know what can be done with this watch. And this is a watch where if you look at it just in this picture, you, you don't get it. You
You
know,
don't
it's
think
hard
that
to get.
you don't think the 5227 has the same utility?
No, no, because the dial just doesn't have the vibrance of it. So these are both great watches, and I think with the black strap you can have some fun, and I think you can have a little bit of fun with
Well,
the
we're
yellow
looking
as
at
well.
white gold, and that's why I'm just like, I fucking don't like white gold, so that's why I'm already out. Like, I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at the rose 5227. Well, not rose, yellow. I get your point. I don't like the hobnail. That's what it is. It's the hobnail that's just
Yeah.
throwing me off.
Debates could be made. We had some good. The Vantage Patek has is 38 millimeters versus 39 for the 1908. Good point. Smaller cases preferable for just pieces. Julius Caesar says, I need to try on the 1908. I've heard it wears better on the wrist than a 6119. Ooh, that's a very interesting. Interesting take. Somebody gave me a suggestion for another watch. We had Chopard. Diraj says time only dress watch for him would be a Vacheron Traditional. So we'll pull some of those up. Oh, what kind of spell? Oh gosh, for $1 million?
No,
Okay.
what is it? What? Why?
It's a limited edition. Looks like maybe a piece unique sapphire bezel, sapphire and diamond inner bezel, tourbillon, mono pusher chronograph. I'm sure it does something else as well. Who knows, man? We did not come here for that much. I'm sorry.
Why?
But I do think in the traditional series, you can pick up some very interesting watches for not crazy prices as well. Of course, you can go crazy with the turbs, but like these, I know we're talking about time only dress watches, but like, let me just take a quick little detour as I'm known to do. This piece has basically the same movement as a lot of the earlier, not earlier, but the 90s perpetual, Solomania based perpetual calendar chronograph. So a lot of Pateks and a few other pieces use this as the base movement. Less than half the price of what you'd pay for a Patek with similar things.
That
Much more
shit
different
is
styling.
too thick,
It
though.
is a thick boy. It is a thick.
That shit is thick.
Let me just go down. Let's see, load high.
Thomas Burnett thinks that the 1908, welcome in Thomas, by the way, is nowhere near the being a college driver killer. He cites the Richard Longa, the Saxonia, Big Date, Brigade Classic, Reversal Dual Face are on that level, not the 1908. Mac Eldridge says Rolex rules the sport watch well, but for classic timepieces, the Patek Philippe sets the benchmark. The 1522 5227G is timeless, and I agree. The 1908 is elegant, but it's still proving itself. I mean, look, that's why I said we gotta give it a couple years to see if it can make its mark, or maybe it just falls to the wayside. It had a little hype, and then all of a sudden, we don't talk about it anymore.
It's possible, right? I think the platinum will always kind of be one that people look for. Ones that the bracelet will do good, but if they make too many, it'll kind of waffle. I can't find any time only traditionals. It's very interesting. But I will say, let me just go back one more watch before we end, because this thing I think is gorgeous.
Derod says they merged the patrimony and traditional labels.
Ah, that's what's going on. Cause like, I can't find any
I
time
can
only. But
see
look
that.
at
What's going
this.
on, Trap Vision? Thank you for stopping by, brother.
What's going on, Trap? This is a gorgeous watch for under 20K. I'll take it. All right, guys, you have been amazing. It is already 3 o'clock, and still business has to be done. You know what we got to do. If you need some independent, truly independent watch advice, make sure you go over to cqthewatchguy.com. Happy to give you advice. Be your watch guy. Be the shoulder that you cry on for all your watch needs. Thank you guys so much. You got 24 people in the room. You are amazing. Do me a big favor. Give me a like, comment, and subscribe. It does so much for the channel. Jay, talk to the people.
Oh my goodness, it's a new month, and that means there's going to be so many new things to talk about. Glad to talk about it with you guys and CQ. So tomorrow's hump day. Can't wait.
Tomorrow is hump day and we will tackle the Wednesday on. Thank you guys again so much. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Vimal, Julius Caesar, Mike A, Pac Elgis, Thomas Burnett, Daraj. Who are we missing? We're missing Tan. Well, I'm sure he's sleeping because we went late. And thank you guys so much. A lot of international people here who stay up really late to be on with us. And you guys make it really, as my camera goes off, you guys make it really easy to come on because you guys show up so strong. So do me a favor, like, upvote. We'll see you tomorrow. We continue Military Week with a great topic. I think tomorrow will be, let's do Panerai Day for Hump Day, right? Let's beat up on
Oh
Panerai a little
goodness.
bit.
I wish
All
I
right.
was like Vimal. He said every day's hump day. Not for me, buddy. Not for me. Okay. Y'all
Oh
have a
man.
good one.
Have a great day, guys.
Peace.